This is BRICS Global Television Network's Daily Roundup. We begin with the headlines. Chinese authorities keep a watchful eye over Tiananmen Square ahead of the 35th anniversary of deadly pro-democracy protests. South African political parties continue coalition talks following the recent elections. China's lunar probe lifts off after gathering the first samples from the far side of the moon. And South Africa gets off to a good start in the T20, beating Sri Lanka. Hello, I'm Juliet Newell. We begin in China, where Hong Kong authorities have arrested an 8th individual for social media posts related to commemorating the Tiananmen Square crackdown, occurring on the eve of its 35th anniversary. In 1989, Tiananmen Square in Beijing witnessed pro-democracy protests demanding political reforms and free speech. The Chinese government responded with a violent crackdown, resulting in casualties and arrests. The estimated death toll ranges from several hundred to several thousand, with thousands more injured. This event remains a significant moment in Chinese history, leading to increased censorship and political control. The latest arrest is part of a series of law enforcement actions against a group accused of publishing seditious online content to exploit the sensitive occasion. The arrests are the first under Hong Kong's Safeguarding National Security Ordinance, enacted in March 2020. The latest arrest, a 62-year-old man, faces charges under the new security law, carrying a penalty of up to 7 years in jail. Among those previously arrested is activist Chow Hang Tung, already serving a jail sentence over related charges. The crackdown on dissent has escalated with restrictions on public commemorations and increased surveillance. Recent incidents, including police monitoring of citizens and censorship publications, reflect the tightening grip on free expression in Hong Kong. In Indian-administered Kashmir, 2 suspected rebels have been killed in a clash with soldiers following heightened tensions after the region's significant voter turnout in India's general election. The encounter occurred in Pulwama district, triggered by intelligence reports of militants in the area. Kashmir's police chiefs described the incident as a significant development in the fight against insurgents. Residents have protested near the site of the firefight, echoing calls for freedom. Kashmir, disputed between India and Pakistan, has witnessed ongoing violence since 1989, with rebel groups demanding independence or union with Pakistan. Despite a decline in violence since 2019, tensions persist. India accuses Pakistan of supporting rebels, a claim Islamabad denies. The recent election saw a notable increase in voter participation, signalling a shift in the political landscape. More than 600,000 of the country's 1 billion eligible voters turned up at the polls over the past 6 weeks to cast their ballots. Here's Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar with more on India's voter turnout.
We have created a world record of 642 million proud Indian voters. This is a historic moment for all of us, for the nation as a whole. 642 ever, anywhere in the world, in any of the electoral exercise. That's what is the number of voters. And this is, just to give you some small statistics, this is 1.5 times of the voters of all G7 countries. US, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Canada, all put together. We are comparing voters, not electors. And it is 2.5 times of the voters of 27 countries in the EU. That has been the incredible power of the voters of India. Let's see what happened next. There are 312 million proud women voters. This is also the highest ever in the world. It is larger than the 2019 elections, both the total and the women voters. So this, we feel, is the moment that we must cherish, we must celebrate, and we want to give them a standing ovation to all our voters by this. I would ask all of you to join and hand. These are all our voters.
In South Africa, the African National Congress is contemplating the formation of a government of national unity with minority parties, following a significant decline in support in the country's 7th general elections held last week. With just over 40% of the vote, the ANC faced tough competition from the DA, the Umkhonto weSizwe party led by former President Jacob Zuma, and the Economic Freedom Fighters. The MK party's success in KwaZulu-Natal signals intense negotiations for coalition governments. President Cyril Ramaphosa stressed the importance of respecting democracy and accepting election outcomes.
We are all called upon to recognize that the results of the election in the end reflect the will of the people. What this election has made plain is that the people of South Africa expect their leaders to work together to meet their needs. They expect the parties for which they have voted to find common ground, to overcome their differences.
Meanwhile, the Democratic Alliance is exploring coalition options, expressing concern over MK Party and EFF potentially entering government.
Our engagements with other parties will also be rooted in the 7 apex priorities outlined in our manifesto. These include to create 2 million new jobs, to end load shedding and water shedding, to halve the rate of violent crime, abolish cadre deployment, lift 6 million people out of poverty, triple the number of grade 4 learners who can read for meaning, and ensure quality healthcare for all.
Meanwhile, objections to the election results are being addressed by the Electoral Commission, though unlikely to alter the outcome. The province of KwaZulu-Natal remains pivotal, with the ANC seeking coalitions to retain control. The nation awaits the final outcome, with economic implications resting on the impending governance decisions. A Chinese lunar probe has achieved a historic milestone as its module successfully lifted off from the far side of the moon, carrying samples destined for Earth. The feat, a first in human lunar exploration, marks a significant advancement for China's space program, which targets a crewed moon mission by 2030. Over the past decade, Beijing's invested heavily in its space program, pursuing a series of ambitious initiatives aimed at narrowing the gap with the long-standing space leaders, the United States and Russia. Touching down in the moon's South Pole Aitken Basin on Sunday, the probe has begun a complex 53-day mission to collect samples using both drilling and robotic arm methods. Notably, a Chinese national flag was unfurled on the far side of the moon for the first time. China's ambitious space agenda, accelerated under President Xi Jinping, aims to establish lunar bases and bridge the gap with traditional space powers, despite concerns raised by the United States about military and dominance motives. Former US President and White House hopeful Donald Trump has joined TikTok, the social media platform owned by China's ByteDance. Despite previously trying to ban TikTok over national security concerns, Trump's account has quickly gained 2 million followers and counting.
The president is now on TikTok. It's my honor.
US President Joe Biden signed a bill in April aimed at banning TikTok if its Chinese owner ByteDance fails to sell the app within a year. The White House has cited security concerns for its decision. Coming up, BRICS Plus Business News.
Only on BGTN.
I have no idea who this guy is. Absolutely no idea. He's not me. I am Ray White. This guy, is a deep fake.
So, as you can see, the BRICS nations have done very well with space exploration, boldly going where no man has gone before. Gosh, it's lovely being in space, isn't it?
catch me, Ray White, on Building Business One Brick at a Time, your BGTN business show that'll keep you in the know about what's happening in the world of business across BRICS, right here on BGTN.
Coming soon on BRICS Global Television.
I remember being in the stadium, going into the stadium, and there were kids outside asking for our autograph and things like that. And they really believed that we were these superhuman characters, that we just used the wheelchair to get around, hidden superpowers kind of thing. And the stadium in London was sold out every single day. I mean, for that, it I think was both for the athlete and for people around the world said, this is actually something worth watching. This is something, that's worthwhile. We can take note of it.
Hi, I'm Ava. I think you should watch BGTN because it's the best. I'm glad you didn't knock that over. I'm Ava. I think, Hi, it's the best. Because it's the best. Because it's the best. Because it's the best.
How do you argue with that? BRICS Global Television, it is the best.
In business news, the OPEC Plus alliance, comprising 12 oil-producing nations and 10 allies, have agreed to extend production cuts until the end of 2025. This to stabilize oil prices amidst economic and geopolitical uncertainties. Additionally, 8 countries have committed to voluntary cuts to further support the market. The decisions were made at the biannual meeting led by Saudi Arabia and Russia. These measures, totaling about 2 million barrels per day, aim to address oversupply concerns and maintain price stability. However, challenges persist, including discord among members and uncertainties in global demand. Analysts are highlighting the need for a strategic approach to reintroducing previously cut barrels into the market without causing price volatility. Despite these challenges, OPEC remains committed to its demand forecast for 2024, although external factors pose risks to the market's stability. The Gulf region's doubling down on its aviation industry with major investments in new airports and aircraft orders pouring in. The International Air Transport Association, IATA's annual meeting in Dubai has revealed billions of dollars are being injected into aviation infrastructure across the wealthy region. Middle East passenger traffic is expected to double in the next 2 decades, reaching 530 million passengers by 2043. Dubai is constructing an even larger facility that aims to accommodate up to 260 million passengers annually. Abu Dhabi and Qatar are also expanding their airports, while Saudi Arabia is investing heavily in air travel infrastructure, including a new air hub in Riyadh and the launch of Riyadh Air, a new airline with a sizable fleet on order. The Gulf's strategic location allows for easy access to a significant portion of the world's traveling population, driving growth in long-haul connections, particularly with Asia. And Egypt's parliament's recently approved a draft bill allowing private investors to lease and manage public hospitals, aiming to enhance medical services in the country. With government healthcare spending struggling to meet demands in a population of 105 million, supporters believe involving the private sector will alleviate the burden on the health ministry and upgrade hospital services. However, opposition from within Parliament and the influential Doctors' Syndicate argues against the bill. Established in 1940, the Doctors' Syndicate, or Egyptian Medical Syndicate, boasts over 230,000 registered members, with approximately 65% practicing abroad. This semi-governmental organization plays a crucial role in facilitating the Ministry of Health by granting licenses to physicians. Critics fear potential job losses, increased costs for low-income earners, and prefer alternative solutions, such as incentivising the private sector to build new hospitals. Despite assurances of government oversight on pricing and service quality, our position remains firm. The Doctors' Syndicate has urged President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to temporarily halt the bill for further discussions on alternative approaches. Up next, Yolanda Pondo with your BRICS Plus Sports Update, and our sports correspondent, Ben Ricotso, will also be in studio to chat about the T20.
Coming soon on BRICS Global Television.
This blind kid arrives. I get emotional. And he's special needs and he's blind. And they can't talk to him. So I grab him and I put him on the boxing bag and I put the gloves on and I illustrate to him, hit the bag. And just to see this child learn in 1 minute how to let his aggression go, and he loved it. And he was squealing because obviously he was mentally challenged and things like that. Just to see that, sure, was incredible.
Well, here we have it. Time to turn things around. You caught the taxi and watched the money drain out of your account. Now we're going to pay you if you are lucky enough to catch our taxi. Small problem. You've got to know a few things about BRICS. No, not the stuff you build your house with. Welcome to the BRICS on Wheels show.
For many, dance in Africa is a rich cultural expression, serving various purposes like entertainment and religious rituals. However, over thousands of years, dance in Africa has been used as a secret way to communicate, sometimes during birth and death, frequently to each other, and at times directly to the gods.
Hello, I'm Yolanda Pondo with the roundup of today's BRICS Plus sports stories. Russian teen Mira Andreeva has made history at the French Open by becoming the youngest female to reach the quarterfinals since 2005. Her 7-5, 6-2 win over Varvara Gracheva at Roland Garros has secured her first Grand Slam quarterfinal spot at just 17 years and 27 days old. Andreeva, who lost only one set in the tournament, faces world number 2 Aryna Sabalenka next. Despite strong crowd support for Gracheva, Andreeva's focus prevailed. This milestone comes after her third-round appearance in Paris last year and success at Wimbledon at the Australian Open. As the only unseeded player left, Andreeva's run defies expectations on the Roland Garros clay. Brazilian footballer Vinicius Jr. has been awarded UEFA's Champions League Player of the Season for leading Real Madrid to victory in Europe, while Jude Bellingham claimed the Young Player award. 23-year-old Vinicius, with 6 goals and 5 assists, played a crucial role in Real's triumph, including scoring in the final against Borussia Dortmund. This win marked Real's 15th European title. Vinicius says, "I'm thrilled to win another Champions League with this club." Bellingham, 20, was honoured for his impressive debut season with Real, contributing 4 goals and 5 assists in the Champions League. He described it as the best night of my life and a perfect season. South Africa's made a good start in the T20 World Cup Group D match against Sri Lanka. The two teams faced each other in New York, and Sri Lanka won the toss, but only managed to score 77 all out off 19.1 overs. South Africa scored 80 for 4 off 16.2 overs. Joining me now is our BGTN sports correspondent, Ben Rikotso. Ben, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me once again.
I mean, it's a great start for South Africa with points on the board.
Look, this is what you need in a tournament like this. This is the World Cup. This is what you need. I think the lights were too much for Sri Lanka yesterday and for South Africa on a Monday afternoon. After a long day, you sit down, you watch a game of cricket. And South Africa did perform very, very well. They did perform very well. Great start. Put points on the table first, then the rest will come.
And then which cricketers would you say performed very well in the match?
I think Heinrich Nokia with the ball. Look, 4 overs, he had 7 wickets. So, he had 4 wickets, 7 runs. So he only conceded 7 runs and 4 wickets, and he became the player of the match. For me, South Africa going ahead, I might be ahead of myself here. It looks like for me they will easily make it out of the group stage. The World Cup hasn't started for South Africa yet, but yesterday to play against Sri Lanka, I was expecting to see a match where we're going to be chasing 160, 180, even 200. But this was a humiliating defeat for Sri Lanka. 77 runs all out. The only guy who came up there scored only 19 runs. From South Africa's point of view, I think this is a great start. We didn't get much, we were not tested in a way, but give it to the bowlers on the day.
And then who is South Africa playing next?
Next, we are going to play against Netherlands. That for me, it's a banana peel for South Africa. That for me might be difficult for us because remember, Netherlands have beaten us before. And people look at Netherlands as not being a cricket nation, you don't see them anywhere. But in that group, for South Africa, it might be a bit of a banana peel. But I'm thinking, with the team that we have now, we will make it out of the group stages.
Then finally, having watched the game, do you think South Africa stands a chance in the tournament?
South Africa will be always, in any tournament, excuse the pun, the chokers. We are referred as the chokers. In this kind of tournaments, South Africa looks like we leave that big match temperament at home. Look, we will progress maybe to the last 8, last 4, but it looks like there's something. You can't call South Africa chokers anymore. I'm thinking this is the year that these boys should come up, bring up their big match temperament and win a tournament of some sort, because we haven't won anything in the cricket, whether it's the 50 game, whether it's the T20. We are battling in that regard. But for me, South Africa still stand a chance. The BRICS nation, India. But for me, a dark horse will always remain New Zealand.
South Africans are indeed looking forward to a win.
We are, Yolanda. It's been coming. Whether we've got that team that will take us there, it remains to be seen. But for over the years, we are battling. Whether you call us chokers or people don't like that, most people don't like that word, the C word is always there for South Africa. But I'm hoping this year we're going to see South Africa making it to the finals.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining me, Ben.
Thank you very much.
That was Ben, our BGTN sports correspondent. That's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow for more BRICS Plus sports updates.
"22 Seconds" came about. I've been working on human trafficking stories recently. I've been doing documentaries. It was just like, are we doing enough? It was a campaign that was, let's challenge ourselves, let's get it out there, let's try and reach as much people as possible.
130 people are trafficked all around the world per hour. So every 22 seconds, someone is being trafficked. 22 seconds could be your walk from a school gate inside the school. It could be your walk from your house to the bus station. It's just a short distance.
This campaign is a campaign that
is set to raise awareness, to show the severity of this crime that's happening around us. I'm hoping that it will get society to speak about it. It will get communities, governments and organizations to come together and tackle this. I'm hoping that it will get the young girl, the young boy to understand the dangers that we live around. And we're speaking to schools so that children are also aware of this. Teachers are aware, because also teachers play a vital role into seeing kids that they teach that this child was not like this. The campaign is running for a month, but that's not where our work will end. We will continue campaigning and we will continue moving towards our goal of getting 22 million signatures. You can share the campaign firstly on social media using the hashtags 22 seconds not for sale, hashtag 22 seconds empower change, because we are empowering change. Please sign the petition. The whole idea also behind the petition is that once we reach 22 million signatures, we will take it to the UN. It is up to us to raise awareness and show human trafficking that it has no place in our society.
And finally, in recent years, cultural exchanges between China and Russia have flourished, showcasing a vibrant tapestry of music, dance and visual arts. Renowned Russian conductor Valery Gergiev, leading the Mariinsky Orchestra, has mesmerized Chinese audiences with sold-out performances at the National Center for the Performing Arts in Beijing. The repertoire includes works by Tchaikovsky, alongside Chinese compositions like Ode to Red Flag. Gergiev, a pioneer in fostering cultural ties, emphasizes the universal language of music in enhancing mutual understanding. The third China-Russia Music Festival, held in Yekaterinburg, has showcased collaborative performances, notably the rendition of Yellow River by musicians from both nations. China's traditional culture melds seamlessly with Western art forms, as seen in the Liaoning Ballet's adaptation of Hua Mulan, blending ballet with Chinese martial arts. Exhibitions further deepen cultural bonds with showcases of Russian art in Beijing and exhibitions on China's Donghuang culture in Moscow. With more cultural exchanges activities on the horizon, these initiatives promise to enrich cross-cultural appreciation and foster stronger ties between China and Russia. And that's your BRICS Global Television Network's daily roundup. We'll be back again with more tomorrow. Until then, check out our website and social media for updates.